Welcome to Friday Takeaway, 24th February 2017. I'm Khoo Chong and of course joined by the lovely Charlotte Chong. Now of course let's start off with the biggest news of the week and the US Federal Reserve, Charlotte.
They're still not sure about
Still a big
whether,
dono in terms of the interest rates. Have you seen the news?
Yes, so this morning I read BBC News, they say they will probably raise rate pretty soon, fairly soon, that's the word, if they continue to see stable economy in the States. Now, what happened in December was we saw about 4.6 or 4.7% of unemployment rate. This January, last month, it was 4.8%, so we saw a little bit of uptick. So we still need to monitor unemployment rate in the US market.
Yeah, some of the officials are saying that as many as 4 interest rate rises this year or as few as 2. But the wording from the Federal Reserve is still very uncertain and very ambiguous. Let's move along to the other foreign news snippets, of course. Non-OPEC members are falling short of promised production cuts, and as a result, people are saying, like ABN AMRO, that oil prices could fall as low as $30 a barrel.
Now, Saudi will likely list its Aramco IPO in New York, London or Toronto, and not Singapore or Hong Kong. Loss-making Snapchat, interestingly, kicked off its first investor roadshow in London to back its $22.2 billion IPO.
And Kraft Heinz withdrew their $143 billion offer for Unilever. Saw that as well.
Now let's move along to local news snippets. Saudi Aramco again and Petronas is expected to ink an agreement to collaborate on Rapid. AirAsia X returned to profit after 3 years of losses.
Yeah, we are in the depths of earnings season now, Charlotte. Of course, Telecom Malaysia has communicated record revenue numbers. Of course, Unify being one of them.
Now, yesterday, Zati actually came out.
Tan Sri Zati, to you and me.
So the former Bank Negara Malaysia governor,
right.
She came out and said she would actually cooperate with special task force if they want to investigate the $10 billion forex losses in Bank Negara Malaysia.
From 30 years ago, actually.
Yeah.
Proton's foreign strategic partners are still a mystery, but the Chinese Geely carmaker and the French Peugeot, I think, are front runners for the stake.
So I don't know if you are a big fan of Cha Time,
Kind
milk
of.
tea.
The chocolate bubble one is quite nice.
It's quite nice. I like the Earl Grey. So what happened was after the whole I Troll You termination letter, and then Brian Lu said, no, I'm going to change the brand.
Lu, but she didn't.
Yes, so they have already changed the brand to Tea Life, and I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago.
Tea Alive?
Tea Life.
Tea Life.
Tea Life,
right,
yes.
Right.
Now, Axiata reported fourth quarter net loss yesterday, proposes 3-cent dividend.
Okay, and Maybank have reported quarterly net profit. The fourth quarter net profit is up by 43% and declared a 32-cent dividend. That's pretty good.
All right, highlight of this week, EPF actually announced a dividend rate for 2016, 5.7% compared with 6.4% in 2015.
Which is interesting because we had quite a weak market last year, but they still managed to eke out 5.7% in what is essentially an election year. But the interesting part is that there was about 8 billion ringgit of impairments, 3/4 of which came from the share market.
That's the reason why they are lowering the dividend rate. Of course, total payout amount to 37.1 billion, like what you say. This is actually the lowest dividend rate since 2009.
Yeah, but still pretty darn good at 5.7% if you ask me. The other big news, of course, this week was Eco World. They have announced their Eco World International IPO.
Yeah.
They've gotten a whole bunch of cornerstone investors and people to back up the shares.
Yeah.
The 6 big banks, Maybank Investment Bank and CIMB as well, are joint book runners.
I think more than 70% of the shares they have already selected the investors. Now, this IPO, everybody is looking at that because last year they say they want to list it, but they didn't. They are pushing it to as early as April 2017, the first week of April 2017 actually.
Yeah. One thing about Malaysia is the property sector, the listed property sector is huge, full of companies, big, small, medium size, and of course this is different because it's the international portion of Eco World. Very young company, but the valuation is interesting because it's only about 1.12 times book value, so seems reasonable.
I remember asking Tan Sri Lukisin this question: why didn't you list Eco World International in London or in other countries? So he actually told me that, we know this market better, we know Malaysia better, that's why we want to list it here.
Yeah, of course they've also got PNB, EPF and
there's so many strategic investors, of course.
Okay, let's move along to Bursa. Now, it is about 1.4% lower on the week, some profit taking there. It's trading at about 1,703 points at this point in time, but on a year-to-date basis, up by 3.8%. On a one-year basis, up by 5.7%. Same number as the dividend rate.
Yeah. So TA Research this morning wrote out a report saying that concerns over politics in Europe and imminent rise in US interest rate, investor would actually be encouraged to continue taking profits ahead of the weekend. So we can see some upside in KLCI.
Okay, a couple more numbers before we move into hot stocks. Oil prices are about 56.5 bucks per barrel, and the ringgit at about 4.443 to the US dollar.
So what's hot this week? We are looking at two stocks, DAGANG, NEXCHANGE, Berhad, and Padini, Berhad. Now this company, DAGANG, NEXCHANGE, they operate through three segments: corporate, IT, information communication, technology, and energy.
Yeah, the reason we chose the stock is because it's been going gangbusters the last couple of weeks. Last week it was about 33.5 cents, today it's about 41 cents. That's a 22% gain in just 1 week. They're doing all sorts of stuff. They also reported net profit that was 8 times higher than a year ago, to 31 million ringgit or 1.77 cent per share in the Q4.
Now, 10 days ago, February 14, Valentine's Day,
Yes.
DNeX was appointed as a project consultant for the road charge vehicle entry permit system for Thai borders. I think that's one of the reasons why
Correct.
we saw a slight surge in your shares.
If you've ever taken a car over to Thailand and the border pass, it's very, very painful.
Yep.
But then when you look at it from the Malaysia-Singapore border, it's so easy.
Yep.
So I guess they're trying to make it as good as the
Correct.
Singapore side.
Correct.
The other stock we chose, Charlotte, was Padini, the clothing maker, the
Yep.
fashion apparel designer.
So they have about 10 brands under their
That's
name.
right, that's
Yeah.
right. They had a big jump also on the week, because a week ago they're trading at $2.58 and today they're trading at $2.84. That's a 10% advance.
Now net profit actually jumped 64.7% to 54.47 million ringgit or 8.28 cent a share in its second quarter ended December 31st last year.
Yeah, revenue was about 25% higher in the fourth quarter to 427 million ringgit. That's huge.
That's a lot of money.
Alliance DBS Research, they said that it was a buy at that point in time because the share price had come off a little bit, but since then it's just roared all the way back.
So Alliance DBS and analyst King Yong actually cautioned that GP margin could come under pressure. It could be squeezed this year, second half of financial year, due to persistent ringgit weakness.
Yeah, the foreign
but
currency.
I think the main question is how would retail stores going to sustain if everybody is going online to buy Zalora, Lazada, and stuff like that?
I'm sure they've got some kind of retail strategy, but in Malaysia, it's still very much a brick and mortar thing. You still want to go in there and try your clothes on. Okay, we are right at the last dregs of the earnings season. Next week, Monday and Tuesday, the last 2 days of the month, the whole bunch of earnings.
Yeah.
On Monday itself, Sime Darby second quarter, Masing fourth quarter, LBS Bina fourth quarter, UEM Sunrise fourth quarter, Star Media Group fourth quarter, MCIL, which is Sinchu, Media Chinese International, third quarter, Daibochi fourth quarter.
On the 28th, we will see NAHB fourth quarter, DRB Highcom third quarter, Tanchong fourth quarter, Ta An fourth quarter. So next week will be a very busy week for us.
Yeah, very busy week for all of us.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that's all from Charlotte and myself, Khoo Chong. If you want more, go to thehmarkets.com, that's online, or buy the hard copy papers with the Edge Weekly or the Edge Financial Daily. Thank you for watching. Good night and good luck.